Yes, so Hairless here. Today we have Pentatonix Papaoutai. This one's been recommended to me a number of times, and each recommendation for this immediately catches my eye because I love the original song. For those of you who don't know the original song, it's by Stromae, a Belgian artist, hugely successful. He sings in French. A lot of people know Stromae as primarily a rapper, but I think he has a really good singing voice, at least from the music of his that I know. And I admire a lot of his music. I think it's super clever, very emotional, just all round nicely done. I also like his nickname, Stromae. It's a type of French slang called verlan, I think, where you inverse the syllables. So maestro, Stromae. And this song in particular of his, Papaoutai, I love it. Years ago, I listened to it on repeat for probably 1 or 2 weeks. There is a lot going on with this song musically, so I imagine it's quite the feat to take on a cappella. I'm very intrigued to see what Pentatonix are going to do here. Well, I say a cappella. It says that it's featuring Lindsay Sterling. I did not know Lindsay Sterling, so I gave her a quick Google, and apparently she's a violinist and dancer. So I'm guessing it will probably be mostly a cappella with a violin. So I'm in two minds about whether or not this should go in my a cappella playlist. Let me know. In the YouTube thumbnail, Pentatonix look like wax figurines. Because of this, it's probably worth showing a snippet of the original song just for context. So I guess Pentatonix have also gone for this style. I think it's very cool. It's different to most things, similar to the original song. The song itself is about an absent father. Papaoutai is a misspelled version of Dad, Where Are You in French. And the last thing, I do know this song inside out. I've listened to it hundreds of times, so I definitely know what I'll be expecting to hear in terms of harmony, voicing, etc. That was a longer introduction than usual. Like I said before, I'm very curious to see what Pentatonix do with it. Let us get straight into it.
Dites-moi d'où il vient, enfin je saurai où je vais. Maman dit que lorsqu'on cherche bien, on finit toujours par trouver. Elle dit qu'il n'est jamais très loin, qu'il part très souvent travailler. Maman dit travailler c'est bien, bien mieux qu'être mal accompagné. Après, où est ton papa? Dis-moi où est ton papa? Ça n'aime du poil et balai, c'est ça qui n'est pas pas. Ah ça fait papa, dis-moi où es-tu caché? Ça doit faire au moins 1000 fois que j'ai compté mes doigts. Où t'es, papa, où t'es? 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 Où t'es, papa, où t'es?
Yeah, this is so cool. A lot of things taken from the original, a lot of new things as well. Quite a bit to talk about. So let's go ahead and dissect that previous section. First thing, the key. Pentatonix version is in B, whereas the original is in B flat. Simply a half step down. That's the smallest difference in key that you can have. I wonder why, because usually when you perform in a different key to the original, it's to help someone's vocal range or perhaps an instrument. For example, if you have a lower voice, you might want to sing in a lower key so it's more suited to your voice. It's always interesting when the key difference is so small. I wonder why they've done that. So the introduction, you can kind of hear it in the background. And then I thought it was going to go into the song because in the original, that's how it starts. In the original, the opening is slow and homophonic as well. I like that they've kept that in. The structure overall has been the same. Being a cappella, they've made it choral, which makes sense. And we've heard what happens afterwards. This creates an even greater contrast, I feel, with the rest of the song. We have a chordal introduction. And they've stayed true to the original so much so that they even have that little rewind effect, which I actually think works better than in the original. I feel it's more suited to voices, especially when they're all doing it together. So the first verse, immediately is upbeat. Interestingly, there's no percussive beat, there's no beatbox going on. It's the music itself here that kind of provides this element of a beat. The original song is so clever in terms of its rhythms, it's rhythmically complex. It makes you doubt what the time signature is. We are in the most simple time called common time. 4 beats in the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see when you count in the time signature that the music is in. It just seems slightly off, like something is slightly not right. As you can imagine, the music in the original is effectively impossible to sing accurately. Or if accurately, it's probably very ineffective because it will take so much energy to get right. So Pentatonix change up the arrangement a little bit, just a little bit though, to make it actually singable. They still offer all the syncopations, all the rhythmicness of it. All they've done is they've basically converted these couplets into a single note, which is Avi. Okay, then overall, it's in French. I don't speak French. How is Scott's pronunciation? Any French speakers out there, let me know in the comments. Then this bit. It might not look like much, but this is a big moment from me. This is the first time I've seen Kevin play cello, which then leads nicely into the violin, which then leads into Kevin's beat. And it's crazy how even having just one instrument can open up the arrangement. I know we have 2 instruments here, but the point remains. Apart from Scott, all the other parts are singing together homophonically, either to R or humming, in Avi's case, sustained notes, and they're all breathing together. Yet the music sounds full, and that's because we now have the string instruments able to play these rhythmically different parts. Bump, bump, bump. Bump, bump, bump. Then onto the creativity of the video itself. I think it's so cool, it's wacky, it's crazy, but it's an homage to the original video. It's just different, isn't it? I'm in disbelief at how effective slowing down the frame rate is in making it look like they're wax figurines in this kind of stop-start animation. And then I just wanted to mention the arrangement as a whole compared to some of the other Pentatonix stuff I've seen. It's definitely more about the rhythms and the dancey, upbeat nature of it than it is having interesting and funky harmonies. We can barely hear Mitch and Kirsty here, but they're providing syncopated rhythmic R's. But they've been turned right the way down. Alright, let's carry on. This is a very, very fun arrangement. I like it. Il y aura bien un jour où on n'y croira plus. Un jour à l'autre on sert tous papa, d'un jour à l'autre on aura disparu. Serons-nous détestables, serons-nous admirables, des génies ou des génies, dis-nous qui donne naissance aux irresponsables. Dis-nous qui, tiens, tout le monde sait comment on fait des bébés, mais personne sait comment on fait des papas. Nous on jette en réalité, ça sonne trop sous 700 pouces ou quoi. Dis-nous où c'est caché, ça doit. It's fun, isn't it? It's cool, it's cool. I just like how full the sound is with a cappella plus 2 string instruments. It's great. But I want to come back and check something because I'm pretty sure I heard what sounds like a doorbell or something, or a lift, or an elevator. Yeah, I really thought that was a doorbell. I wonder why they've gone for that. From a harmonic perspective, let me explain. So musically here, we have a B minor chord, which sounds like that. But then when you add those 2 notes on top, we get... They could not be further harmonically from what we might expect to fit in this chord here. Maybe it's to bring attention to Kevin's cello part, because then it does slide up. Well, it definitely grabs our attention. And then just after that, we have this part, which in the original song is probably my favourite part.
Dites-nous qui donne naissance aux irresponsables, hein? Dites-nous qui.
Stromae here really has this raw, angry sound to his voice, and I think that the modulation, the chord progression is great. In Pentatonix version, they have the two string instruments now playing sustain notes here, which are playing this. They're working really nicely together here, with the violin staying static on the last note whilst the cello continues to move, which really emphasises this nice, different, kind of unexpected chord progression that we get here, which then leads into this part. Nice arrangement here, I think. Avi's part, dum 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 dum, just the same note. And Scott's melody is also singing the same note, static, up the octave. But we really don't feel like we're static at all here, do we? We feel like we're moving. All we need to make us feel like we're moving and detract from this staticness are the wah-ohs in the background, and just two notes being played in the strings in the most simple rhythms. Bum, 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 bum. It shows that arrangements don't need to be crazily complex. And then just before we carry on with the rest of it, I really like this part. It's really giving me like Irish folk or Irish dancing vibes, you know, like with the fiddle. It's reminding me of Michael Flatley. I never thought that music by Stromae would have me talking about or thinking about Michael Flatley. Yet here we are, thanks to Pentatonix. Alright, let's carry on. That's nice, I like that. Great arrangement, very fun. If I had Pentatonix on my floor in my room like that, I'd just be making them sing over and over. This video, this arrangement, it really reminded me one thing that I like about Pentatonix, and it's that none of them seem to have a superiority complex, if that's the right word. Here, for example. Kirsty and Mitch are really genuinely barely audible. They've been turned right the way down. I'd have to listen to this quite a few times to be able to be confident in what notes I'm hearing them sing. Compared to Avi, he's been turned right the way up. But it's what's best for the arrangement here, and that's so important in a cappella, even though there's an instrument, but in general, that everyone knows their role for a particular performance or arrangement at any point. Then another thing, another testament to this arrangement, this section I'm about to play you, it's separated into 3 sections. We have Scott's melody. It has lyrics, it's legato, smooth, and it has breaks in between. It's not just constant music. Then we also have the backing vocal parts, which don't have lyrics. They're staccato or disjointed, and they also have breaks, they're not constant. And then we have the strings, also no lyrics, but they're legato, smooth, and there are no breaks. It is constant music. Every possible kind of combination and bass is covered here. And then of course this bit, the complete removal of sound across the board before going into the kind of final climaxy section to finish up. But no, because then we finish with a completely separated section, a completely different feel to it, to the music beforehand, just like we started with the introduction, completely separate, completely different to the majority of the song. Except, unlike the start, which is choral, this is now a nice kind of disjointed counterpoint section. Yeah, that was nice. I love the original, and I would think that Stromae would think they've done an absolute justice here. Very, very cool to see, very, very fun, whilst paying homage to the original in many ways. Cool, well, let's leave it there. As always, thank you very much for watching. Would appreciate a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.